Well, of course, terminology is a very significant aspect of the way in which we look at the Failed States Index, and now the Fragile States Index. And the term failed state is in and of itself somewhat of a loaded term. And we would suggest that it is a term that doesn't quite capture the essential message of the index. In trying to highlight the broad spectrum of underlying causes of fragility and instability. While the term failed state itself fails to capture is that state failure or fragility really exists on a continuum. It's a continuum within a country, both geographically and also in different aspects of society. The continuum also exists over time, and the term failed really suggests a certain degree of finality that just isn't true. A country can be very weak and it can recover. That may take some time, but it still doesn't mean that a state will be failed for all time. That is why we think the term fragility really does capture a lot more of that nuance. For us, we believe that the term Fragile States Index is going to be a lot more of an accurate description for the kind of analysis that we are attempting.
When we first used the name Failed States Index back in 2005, the use of the term failed state was designed to highlight and draw attention to the very real risk that people faced if their states failed to address the factors that we were measuring. We thought it was important to develop something that the international community, as well as national governments, local media, and civil society could use to track how countries were performing on the range of issues that impact human security: economics, the environment, security forces, political will, and legitimacy. But over time, we found the name just to be a distraction. While the term failed state does help to draw attention to these risks, some use the name as a way of dismissing the index and preventing people from actually talking about the issues on the ground. But the goal of the index is to create dialogue. We like it when people question, is corruption really driving issues in our country? Is the educational sector weak? Is there an element inside the government that isn't working? These are questions that have to be asked on the ground by governments, by local people, by the local media, by civil society, by everyone. And the index is supposed to be a part, one tool that people can use to question whether human security is actually being cared for.
Well, you'll just have to wait until June 24th, and that's when we publish the Fragile States Index on the Fund for Peace website at fundforpeace.org. Also, Foreign Policy magazine will be simultaneously publishing the index on their website at foreignpolicy.com. We will also have a launch event in Washington, D.C. with NBC anchor Ann Curry on Thursday, June 26th, where we will formally launch the 10th anniversary of the index and the first ever Fragile States Index.